Hi everyone, welcome to your BTC SOL update for today. Um, Looking at liquidity, it appears that people are starting to get confident in their longs again. So we're starting to see more of a build-up of leverage to the downside, which usually gets followed by some form of flush. But as it stands at the moment, we seem to be just holding the same levels. But so one-day liquidity, you could see a sweep on SOL down to 200, or you could go as high as 220. And on BTC, it's actually lifting up a little bit. So BTC is getting a bit stronger, and the one-day liquidity would really only go down to about 109, 110, and to the upside about 114. If we look at the 7-day liquidations, it's sort of showing the same upside on BTC up to about 114, but now you can see those positions that are actually sitting down there at like 105 and 104, and definitely the balance of 7-day liquidity is really tipping to the downside there. With SOL, the numbers don't really change all that much. It's still sort of about 190 to 200 on the bottom and up to about 220 on the top. And when we look at the 30-day, the 30-day is really the only one that would warrant a short squeeze on BTC. And it really wouldn't have to do all that much. Like if it went up to 117 or something like that, then it's pretty much taking out half of that leverage. If it goes up to 120 or 119, it's taking out pretty much everything to the top side. And the lower leverage is still around that 105 level. SOL on the other hand is people are very bullish. It sort of has that, even on the 30-day, it sort of has that top at about 220. But to the downside, all the way down into the 170s, and those 170s are still, they're real. Like they are a target for one of the rejections that's in play at the moment. So hopefully it takes too long and we build some support, we build some new trends, something that kind of keeps the price up. But as it stands right now, liquidity is there, structure is to go there, and we're just kind of hoping that bigger things come along and keep it moving in the upwards direction. So let's have a look at our short term. So short term liquidity, definitely we're sitting up over halfway. BTC should have a pullback. I tweeted something back in, I think it was about the 26th of August or something, about this level, this 112,459, and that we would probably have a rejection on there, and we could go all the way back to as low as about 108 from that rejection. So it's hit the level, it's having the rejection. Now it's just a case of how far back will it actually go, but so that seems to be on its way down at the moment, and of course SOL will follow. So yeah, top of the liquidity there on SOL, pretty much showing the same thing, 220 or down to 192. And on BTC, it's sort of around that 116 to the top and 104 to the bottom. So pretty much everything is there. The structure's there, the liquidity's there. We just need a move, really. And some of the ones we've had in the last couple of days, they've all played out. So whatever time frame they were on, we've had our scalps, we've had our moves, but I think it's definitely brewing to have some kind of bigger flush. It's just not doing it yet. Let's have a look at these charts. So we have rejected the trend on SOL BTC, so strength is dropping back a little bit, and it's heading back to this hold level here at 18536. So it needs to either find support at that hold level or find support at the trend and have another go at moving to the upside, or failing that, it's going to keep moving down. It would make sense for it to do that retest. We still haven't had that 17933 retest down on that break level that's been hard closed, so we could still see a bit of weakness come in there. And if we have a look at our risk assets, or our safety assets, so we're still basically just bouncing around between the backside of the one-day range at about 65%, and the support level below that at 64.59. We still haven't actually retested that 65.32 level, so you would expect that to happen, and also that 65.46 level. So yeah, all of that gives a bit of confluence that we may see some kind of pullback in the risk assets. Let's have a look at BTC. Okay, so BTC looks like it's going to have a trend break today, so that's positive. The only downside to that is it's already touched the hold level, so and it hasn't quite touched the break level. So when this trend breaks today, assuming nothing changes between now and close, we don't really have an upside target for that. We could potentially just go back to that 112 600 level again and just hit that level before rejecting down. The wick on the top of the candle is too big, so if we just get rid of these trends, we should be heading back down here anyway to that 109 level, but if we just get rid of these trends, this exterior here is going to move, and it's going to end up over here. And at this stage, because of where the price is and how big that wick is, it's going to open on the underside of it, which means it's most likely going to have some kind of rejection. But yeah, it can change. We've got an hour and 29 minutes if it goes up. Like yesterday, we had that really big pump right near the end of the day, which kind of changed quite a bit as far as structure goes. It got us into levels that previously we weren't going to be able to get into all that easy. But so yeah, trend moves, we'll probably get a rejection off it, probably get a pullback, unless we can get a bit more of an upwards move in that before the end of the day. Okay, but the 2-day is getting back up above its trend, so it's gone down below. It's done this sweep and grab of liquidity. It's not hard closed or lost the trend, and it's now back up above. So if we do get that pullback, it's probably going to come back to the trend and then be able to bounce. And we do have a hold level here at 114, and that would be the target if it was to bounce this trend. And we have that liquidity pocket sitting there. So you might get a pullback to trend and then a bounce up to that. If we have a look at the 3-day. 3-day is pulling back up above the break of range. So we have this range that's over here. We have this break level at about 111.862. Now it hasn't lost that level because we had no hard close, and it's getting back up towards that level. It's basically on that line right now. So if it can get up a little bit higher, it could get back inside that level, and that's bullish. Like we want to be back inside that level. We don't want to lose it, and it could still dip and do all that kind of stuff the next day. But at least getting back inside that level, we know we're heading in the right direction. And we've bounced the hold level here at 108 and 297. We've dived the trends, and we're moving back up again on the 6-day. So this looks good. This is kind of a funny one because it's going to lose the interior trend, which would technically move beyond the exterior. So you can't really do that. What it's actually going to most likely do is open the next candle and then maybe retrace back, bounce off this level here, somewhere around that 110 area, which kind of makes sense with the 1-day liquidity, and then go up and try to have a go at that resistance trend. But when we hit that, we're probably going to reject, and that's around that 114. So that has a lot of confluence with what we can see in the liquidity. The 41-day is going to open under trend and above trend, so it's just in the middle. It might go up first, reject off the high and come down. It might go down first and then bounce up to the high, but it's going to move between these, and that sort of gives you that 117, 118 range to the upside, and it gives you that sort of 107 area to the downside. So it's looking pretty normal. And the 82-day is going to open above the break level, so that's positive. So the most bullish scenario is it'll come back to the break level at about 108, and then it will bounce, and it will try to break through that topside trend. The bearish scenario is it could pull all the way back to the hold level, which is down around 93. So just got to be ready for whichever one happens. And if it comes down here, don't get scared, just long it because it'll bounce off that, and that'll be a nice decent long. Okay, let's have a look at SOL. So SOL is going to create a new uptrend if it closes in a downwards candle like this. So it's going to come from down there to up there. So this is positive, because when you start to get these trends condensing like this in one tight group, normally what you're going to get is a big breakout. And because all of these basically are like support, every one of them has a certain amount of strength. When you get a whole heap of them start to condense, if it bounces off that, it can jump. It can definitely go up. So yeah, so that's about all it's doing. It's not breaking out of anything to the downside. It's not shifting any trends. It's just creating another support trend. So which is why it's getting harder and harder for this to actually really go down deep, because there's just too much support that's forming every day. Okay, so on the 2-day, we're going to close with a new support hold level, and that's going to be down here at 602, and we're not breaking the exterior trends, but we are breaking one of the interiors. So and we're above the support trend, so we haven't lost that. We were close to losing it, but the fact it's gone back up, very positive. So you could get a pullback to the hold level or to the trend, and then a bounce up to the upper trend, but it really looks like this is gearing up to at least come up and tag that fib level, because we've actually got a fib long on this at the moment, which goes up to about 218, and it hasn't hit that target yet, but it should be able to do that now if it can bounce off one of these trends and then head up there. So it's looking pretty bullish. Okay, we are going to hard close the 3-day range trend today, and we are going to move the 3-day resistance trend to the upside. So slightly bearish, this one. So the long on this is already played out. So the 200 to 210, that's done. So we'll get rid of that. This is slightly bearish because this trend will move. Oops, wrong one. This will move over to here, and the candle's going to open on the wrong side of it. So yeah, we could come down and bounce up to that trend, or we could go up and reject back, but that sort of puts that 212 level, which has been a bit of a sticky level, but that's putting that 212 level back in there as a potential rejection. So we might still be just bouncing around between not the full extremes of the chart. Like we know we've got this move that should take us to 218, or and we've got stuff that can take us even higher, and we've got the liquidity there to do it, but we still keep slowing it down. Like we keep building this resistance at these levels that really stops the price from moving to the extremes. So, which is good and bad, both in support but also in our topside targets. So the 6-day close today is going to create a new support trend, which is going to run from here to here. So just more support, but it's not breaking the downtrend. So it's just it's done the hard close of the break level. It's done the retest of the break level, which was that 195 entry, and it's worked its way back up to get above the trend. It's building another support trend, which at some point it's going to hit that and bounce off that. So we could get a long off that trend, but really it's not offering a breakout yet, but it's just building more support. And 41-day, this is cool, this is exciting. We're back up inside this top part of the range. So yeah, this is actually breaking the downtrend today, and it will move over to here. But as it stands, as long as it stays around that 209 price, or maybe just sneaks up a little bit, the next candle will open on the positive side of that trend, and then we've got another 243 target. Plus, eventually what this is actually going to do is it's trying to work its way up to the exterior trend here at 300. So that's kind of where that's going, but it's just going to take time, and it's going to have to deal with this one break level at about 243. And we might reject off that and then have to recover, so which could be off the backside of the trend, whatever trend's in play at the time. So yeah, you could get a bounce off the backside of this trend, assuming it opens around here or a little bit higher than where it is, and then target that 240 for a rejection. And if we can get past that, well, it's pretty much free space after that. And yeah, the 82-day, there's not too much to show on here other than it hasn't actually lost its downtrend. but I would expect it when it gets to this 240 area here, which has got the break level in it. It's actually an origin level in it, and it's also got the backside of two trends. Like, I would expect it to have a rejection from there. How far down? Don't know. Could be little, could be big, but it's unlikely it's just going to sail through that. It really should hit that and have some kind of pullback. So just keep an eye out for that one. And other than that, we've got this 120, 123 day, and yeah, same really. We've got this level multiple times on various different time frames, which is basically just at some point, if we do go below 189, we're going to activate a long, which is going to be able to take us up to that 247 mark. So this is all looking pretty good. The next candle will actually be a little bit further away from the backside of this trend too, so more likely to be able to reach up to there. So that's yeah, it's looking pretty good, pretty bullish. That's about it for today. There's not a heck of a lot that's changed really from yesterday as far as the different levels. And yeah, as far as the SUI trade, took a little bit of profit off at that 3.4 level. So we'll see if we do get a pullback today or tomorrow. If we do get a pullback based on some of these rejections, then we'll just look to add it back in and compound it and continue to head up. So and totally missed the boat on ENA. So saw that, but it's up to 72 cents now. So I don't know if that will come back to that 54 mark. But yeah, if you did get in on this trend, then yeah, cool. It's probably heading up to this sort of 1.07 area. But we might still get a pullback. There's actually a short in play on this, which is trying to bring the price down to 54. So my mindset is let the short play out and then take the long off the trend. But it's very possible that this old trend that's been coming through here actually got in the way. So, and sometimes that's what happens. Like your fib trade won't play out in its entirety because it runs into some kind of support trend which gets in the way of the move, and that looks like what could be happening right now. But we'll keep an eye on it. If it does come back down to that 54-cent price point, if we do get a greedy entry on it, then yeah, we'll long it up to $1.07 and see how that goes. So yeah, hopefully you got something out of this one. It's probably a bit quicker than the others, but yeah, like, subscribe, and all that stuff, and we'll catch you again tomorrow. Cheers, bye.